Go, Pack, go away. Hey y'all, how's it going? I'm Joy, that is Steve, and we are back with the NFL predictions versus. This time we are covering the wild card weekend, super wild card weekend, whatever the NFL wants to call it nowadays.
Mhm.
How you doing, Steve? I'm really excited for this upcoming week because we only have 6 games, so
True. I'm doing excellent there myself. There, even though I had a couple of slip ups there in the last week's schedule.
yeah, there were a few. I had a few as well that were like, I really should have known better, but I didn't
Mhm.
do it anyway. What was your record?
My record there was 13-3 there, so it's not bad.
Oh, see, yeah, you actually did better than I did. I went 12-4.
Hmm.
So that's really good. I believe Buff and John went 10-6, and then SDS joined you in going 13-3. So that brings our regular season standings to as such. We have SDS, who is still in first and probably will be until the end of time, with
Hmm.
179, 90, and 2. I
Might as well
am,
crown him champ.
yeah, I'm not going to do that yet because I'm relying on the postseason. I made a
Hmm.
few risky plays this week, and I'm
Hmm.
hoping that the postseason will be my rebound and his massive collapse. So I'm 6 games back at 173, 96, and 2. Steve, he jumped John again to third
Hmm.
place with 170, 99, and 2.
We're just playing leapfrog.
Yeah, honestly, you guys just keep leapfrogging each other, and it's been really, really fun to watch over the last few weeks. It's been
Mhm.
awesome. And
Yeah.
then John here has joined Buff in the above 100 losses club with
Hmm.
168, 101, and 2. And then Buff has 163, 106, and 2 with Spite gaining some victories thanks to Detroit. And they
Hmm.
are now at 12-7.
Hmm.
So, what would you like to do first for the Week 18 recap? Regret, shock, or game?
Okay. Might as well do a regret while we start at there.
May as well get the negative out of the way.
Yeah. Mine would be not choosing Carolina over New Orleans. Uh,
Yeah, I would agree with that actually. I now the fact that they missed a field goal at the end of the game and that was why Carolina ended up winning is kind
true.
of sad.
Yeah, it is.
For me, my regret is actually the NFC South as well,
Mhm.
and it was not trusting Atlanta, or more to the point, not trusting the Bucks to rest their starters because I
Yeah.
assumed that they would
Mhm.
want momentum going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
But apparently I was wrong, and they will just be happy to host
Hmm.
Dallas healthy instead of having any kind of momentum.
Exactly.
Um, so that was my big time regret. My shock, I am going to go ahead and do. Where did my game go? Dallas.
What
If
happened to them?
they forgot that the run game existed. To be
Hmm.
fair, um,
Yeah.
but then Washington coming out with Sam Howell,
Yeah.
really well done, destroying Dallas completely.
Hmm.
I was thoroughly shocked at that.
Hmm.
There were a few games this week that were really surprising. What was your shock of the week?
Shocker. I'm gonna say. How about the Texans? They're going for it at the last second there and winning the game there, and thus blowing their chance at the number one pick and giving it to the Bears.
Yeah, that was a really gutsy call, and kudos to Lovie Smith in a job losing effort for that one
Hmm.
because I completely expected them to just tie it and go into overtime, which would have
Hmm.
made me really happy because that means that we would have had a chance at another tie,
Hmm.
which would have been
Hey, Dino.
hilarious. Hi, Dino. You're awake again. Cool.
Hmm.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see how this goes, but
Yeah.
hopefully he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so I definitely agree with you on the Texans.
Hmm.
I would also say that the Dolphins game could be a surprise,
Yeah.
just because like they ended it with a safety, I believe,
Yeah.
which is always an interesting way of ending a game off.
True.
But also, a game of field goals is not what I was expecting in the least.
True. True.
So what was your game of the week? Because we have a lot of really good ones to choose from.
Mine. I'm gonna go in a different route there. I'm gonna say the Bills. They're beating the Patriots. What way to start out the game there by returning a kickoff for a touchdown there.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. That was definitely
Mhm,
some kind of start. There was a lot of
mhm.
people commenting about that in some not so pleasant lights. So I'm sure you guys
Yeah,
seen the meme of
mhm,
it on
yeah,
the Twitterverse. So I'm not gonna bother rehashing it. But
no,
it was
but
definitely interesting.
yeah, they obviously have won that game for Damar Hamlin.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I said last week, I was gonna go with Buffalo, regardless of what happened.
Mhm,
This
yeah,
just gave him an added motivation to actually do it.
mhm, mhm,
But speaking of added motivation, on a completely different spectrum, my game of the week is going to be Detroit ruining the Packers' chances of going into the playoffs, probably
true,
retiring Aaron Rodgers, sending Alan Lazard packing out of the division.
true.
So it was a really good statement game
Hmm.
that they won on all phases.
Yeah,
And
true.
what I loved about it is that they didn't have anything to play for after
Hmm.
Seattle won, and they
Yeah,
still came out fighting
true.
because they knew, like I was said, they understood the assignment,
Hmm.
and their mission was to keep Green Bay out. And you can call it petty, like many people
Yeah.
are,
Hmm.
but they have every right to be petty with everything that Aaron Rodgers has said
True.
about
Hmm.
Detroit.
Yeah.
So, and the fact that Green Bay was the one that was undisciplined and unhinged and punching
True.
people and knocking over the medical staff,
Yeah.
it really kind of
Yeah.
showed the measure of the two teams, and it made me really happy to have that kind of an outcome.
True.
Plus, the post game trolling by the Lions' social media was just outstanding.
Yeah. Hmm.
That man deserves a raise
Exactly.
because oh my god. All right.
Yeah.
Also, a fun fact: I have my Lions schedule up as well
Okay.
because I usually track that. They went
Hmm.
9-8, and I predicted a 10-7. So
Wow.
I'm actually not that far off on that. This is the first time that I drank their Kool-Aid and it didn't come back to bite me. So
True.
I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
But with our recap out of the way, unless there's something else that you want to go over from week 18.
Not really. No.
All right, cool. Then we are ready for Wild Card Weekend, which I'm
Here
still
we
calling
go.
it Wild Card Weekend. I don't care what it's called, but
Yeah.
we are ready. First things
Yeah.
first. We are starting with the NFC, and it's
Hmm.
an NFC West rivalry game at that, where we have
True.
Seattle going to San Francisco.
Yeah. But obviously, Seattle, Seattle needs to send a big thank you bouquet to the Lions there for getting them in the playoffs.
And they did. The 12th man, the fan base of Seattle, has donated to the Lions Charity Foundation
Yeah.
in a thank you for what the Lions did. So there was a lot
Yeah.
of good that came out of beating Green Bay, more so than just sending Green Bay packing. But
True.
it did some benefit for the Detroit community as well. So
Yeah.
also kudos
There
to
you go.
Seattle for being good sports.
True. Yeah, but it's going to get tougher for them this week. They're uh, taking on a strong Niners team there, even though they are starting Brock Purdy at the QB there.
You know what though? I don't really think that that's a hindrance to them. I think
Really.
Brock Purdy is playing very well,
Hmm.
and their entire offense has a lot of power.
True.
And not only that, but
Yeah.
their defense is like the best in the league, I believe. So
Yeah.
it's
With
gonna be hard.
McCaffrey and Kittle and Ayuk.
Yep. And I don't know if Debo is able to play or not. I did not check on that. But
Mhm.
yeah, they have a
True.
lot of offensive weapons. They have Nick Bosa over on the defense, which is just going to shut things
True.
down. And
True.
quite frankly, Seattle had a hard enough time
True.
beating the Rams, and they needed some officiating help to beat the Rams, actually.
True.
So Yeah, there was a lot of things that went down in that game that were questionable at best, and I think we all kind of have an idea for why that happened the way that it did,
True.
but we don't really need to get into that. Right
Yeah.
now, I think that they're going to have a really tough challenge going to San Francisco, so
Yeah. Exactly.
we're probably going to be in agreement here.
Yeah. And we're both going to take the Niners there to win.
Yep, we are. Unfortunately, I would love for Seattle to like have a Cinderella ending, but I just think that the 49ers are a lot stronger of a team, and quite frankly, I'm more rooting for Brock Purdy to have a
Mm-hmm.
Cinderella story kind of deal for himself,
True.
more so than I am for Seattle, because I really like that kid as a QB, and I think that
Mm-hmm.
having him do well in the playoffs in a high pressure situation is going to show the real makings of what he could be going forward.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay.
Yep. Second game up, we are going to the AFC now for a Saturday game when the Jaguars, coming off of a huge division win against Tennessee, will be hosting the Chargers.
Here we go there. Now, question is last week, why did the Chargers play their entire A team there the entire time against the Broncos there?
You know what? I'm not entirely sure because I believe that they lost Mike Williams in that game.
True.
I don't know if he's going to be healthy to play this game, but I hope that he is. And that concerns me greatly, actually, because if they played their A squad the entire time
Mm-hmm.
and lost to Denver,
Mm-hmm.
that's not a good
Show some
sign.
weakness.
Yeah, it shows a lot of weakness, and that's not a really good sign. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that this could kind of be setting them up for a rebound game potentially, especially with everything being on the line right now.
True.
But I don't know why they chose to start their players. It seems kind of silly, but
Yeah.
I respect it. You know, I respect fighting every week, regardless.
Exactly. Good point there. And of course, the Jags come off a huge win against the Titans there.
Yeah, it not only got them to the playoffs, but it gave them the division for the first time in like forever, as far as I know.
True.
I mean, they probably won it recently, back in the Saxonville era. Was it
Mm-hmm.
2017?
Yeah. True. But with me there, I think the Jags can pull it off again this week there, and I picked them to beat the Chargers.
I think that they can pull it off too. And having the Chargers lose to Denver concerns me a lot for this pick because I
Exactly.
actually went ahead and went for a tiny bit of an upset on this one.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I'm afraid too. I know. I'm scared too.
Mm-hmm.
Calm down.
Yeah, he was petrified.
He disagrees with me wholeheartedly, and I'm taking the Chargers because I'm trying to,
Oh,
yeah, I'm trying to play the splits here because I have a
okay.
feeling that SDS is going to go with the Jags, and
Mm-hmm.
I kind of need to make up some
Yeah.
ground, and so I think playing a split here is a smart thing to do because
Mm-hmm.
most of these games are kind of obvious, but
Yeah.
this one I
True.
think could, this one I think could go either way, and so
Exactly. The
exactly, so I'm going for it anyway. So we'll see how it goes.
mm-hmm.
This game I do not believe could go either way. We have
Yeah.
Miami and their third string QB. I
Mm-hmm.
know, going to Buffalo.
Yeah. The question uh, what is Tua pretty much done for the season there?
I believe so. Yeah, I don't think that they're going to start him. It's going to be their third string. I don't think Teddy
Yeah.
Bridgewater
Exactly.
is good to go either. Now, if
Yeah.
if somehow they make it past Buffalo, then we can talk
Mm-hmm.
about having Tua come in for the divisional rounds. But
Yeah.
that's a pretty big if.
Iffy
Yeah,
there. True.
considering that you only put up 11
Yeah. Exactly.
on the
Against the
Jets.
Jets. Exactly. Oh,
So,
that shows weakness.
yes. Yeah.
Major
Big,
weakness.
big shows of weakness across the board for a lot of the
True.
league. And
Yeah.
yeah, I don't like their chances, to be fair.
True. And the Bills there. may have a little extra motivation there on the sidelines this weekend. There, I wouldn't be surprised if Damar Hamlin shows up there to encourage the team to win. There,
I mean, it's highly possible that he could show up.
yeah,
So maybe you're right.
hmm
That would certainly
yeah,
give them an extra boost.
yeah, exactly. There. So we're both green there. There's going to be a Buffalo Bills blowout.
Um, I'm taking the Bills to win for sure, but I'm not going to say it's going to be a blowout because the last time that they did face Miami,
Mm-hmm,
Waddle and Hill did give them some trouble
mm-hmm,
defensively. So I'm
sure,
definitely taking Buffalo, but I think it'll be probably closer than it should be.
sure.
All right, back
Okay.
to the NFC now. We have the Giants going to Skull Country and facing the Vikings.
Yeah. The last time these teams took on each other, their Vikings won it on a last second field goal there.
I have not been able to forget that. It's been
Yeah.
it's been reminded to me a lot. So
hmm
yeah, I know.
Question is, can the Giants correct the mistake there that was made weeks ago there?
You know, you would think that they'd be able to, especially because they rested last week.
True. Now they're going to have to correct the mistakes they made there, prove their offense there.
Yeah, I mean, well, pretty much the offense is Saquon Barkley, so as long as the Vikings can contain the run, then they should be fine and force Daniel Jones
Mm-hmm,
to beat them in the air, which
mm-hmm,
he can, but
mm-hmm.
I'm just hoping that he won't be able to beat them in the air quite as well as Saquon Barkley can beat them on the ground.
Yeah. And the
So,
question is, can Kirk Cousins do well in the playoffs? And I think he's going to struggle a little bit there since last time there. And with me there, I think I'm going to go upset this week there, and the Giants will upset the Vikings.
you know, I am not surprised if that happens. I actually think that Minnesota winning a playoff game is kind of an upset in this one because the entire year nobody thought that they would.
Mm-hmm,
Um, because it was pretty assured early on, like probably what a quarter of the way through the season or whatever, that they were going to win the division because the rest of the division
mm-hmm,
was absolutely garbage at the time.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um, but everyone was saying that they're not strong enough to actually win a
I
playoff
know
game.
you know.
I know it's such an injustice, discrimination.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go ahead and take Minnesota on this one to prove people wrong. And if I'm
Okay,
wrong, then it was a valiant split game because I know again that first place will not be going with Minnesota. So I'm playing my odds here.
okay. Play your hunches.
Yep. I'm playing my hunches, my Hutchinsons, and my odds.
Okay.
All right. Next up, we have the Bengals hosting AFC North rival Ravens. Hi, birds. I know, bird.
Yeah, true.
This
See,
particular bird team is not any good though. So
now,
unfortunately for you.
yeah, obviously they won't have Lamar Jackson there, and I don't know the stats of Tyler Huntley there.
I don't know. I hope that he's good to go because if they don't have him, I don't even know who the QB would be.
True, they probably have a third stringer, and
Yeah.
what's which which is always a a come down there from from losing your big two QBs there.
Well, I mean, I think the problem with Baltimore is that their offense is Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you don't have Lamar Jackson, you don't really have much of anything else to go on.
Yeah,
And we've already been over how completely weak their D is.
yeah,
So like I think they're coming into this game kind of doomed, to be fair.
yeah, exactly. They're
Much to the chagrin of Bird fans, I think that the Ravens are doomed in this game.
yeah, exactly. There and the Bengals want to go back to the Super Bowl again there
Yeah,
for
I
the
mean, at
second
the
straight
very
year.
least, the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
So that's going to be really interesting. Now, I do want to say that Cincinnati should not be looking through Baltimore because we all know what happens when you look through a team.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that this should be well in hand as long as you come to play and you actually show up without thinking that you've got this won already before you hit the field.
True. So with me there, I think I'm going to go Bengals there with apologies to Dino.
Yeah, much apologies to Birdo over there, but I'm gonna go ahead and agree with you and take the Bengals. So,
Hmm. Yeah.
all right, last up we have Tampa Brady hosting Dak Prescott and the Cowboys.
Yeah. The question is, what happened to the Cowboys last week there? They had
I don't
no
know,
offense there.
none
What
at
happened
all.
to Dak? What happened to Zeke? What happened to their to receiving core there?
I'm
They
not
just
entirely
didn't
sure.
show up.
I do know if we harken back to previously in the season that Washington's D line do be bussin'. So I mean, I think that definitely played a role in it, but also I don't really think that Dallas tried. I think
Hmm.
that they played their starters, but I don't think that they actually played their starters. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't think they cared if they won the game or not. And so they played really soft. Now, defensively is where I'm concerned because if you had
Yeah.
trouble stopping a rookie QB,
Yeah.
how are you going to fare against a
Brady.
veteran? Yeah, a veteran legend of our own time in Brady. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that this could be similar to the Chargers
Yeah.
in this week, where it could be a bit of a bounce back.
Yeah.
And so they were setting themselves up for needing to bounce back.
Yeah. True.
And the Bucks clearly didn't care about momentum
Yeah.
because they rested their starters last week. So
Yeah. True. Yeah. I know in the past couple of weeks there, I was going to say Dallas was going to slaughter Tampa there, but after last week there, I'm flip flopping there, and
oh really?
yeah, and I'm going with Brady and the Bucks to upset the Cowboys.
Oh no. Um. Well, I'm alone because I went ahead and I took the Cowboys in this one.
Oh, oh,
Yeah. Again, I'm playing the splits because I know that SDS is a Tampa fan, and so he's gonna trust Tampa, and so I'm three splits on the week with him so far as I know
yeah,
from what I'm gauging.
yeah.
Um,
So we have three splits
yeah,
as
so you and
well.
I have three splits as well. Great, good,
Yeah.
good. I
Mm-hmm.
love that. That's not concerning at all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just hoping that Dallas's defense shows up because like they've had trouble Tampa offensively. They haven't been producing all that well this
True.
season, and so I need some good pass rush. I need good coverage to shut down Mike Evans and some good pressure on Brady because once you can get to him,
Mm-hmm.
then you should be fine. I'm
Yeah.
still concerned,
Mm-hmm.
but so let's do the picks for the others
Mm-hmm.
while we're here, and then I have a little special treat for people at the end here.
Okay.
So first things first, we have Buff, who for the wild card week went with the Bills, Bengals, Chargers, Niners, Vikings, and Bucks. So
Okay.
I split with him on the Bucks, and you
Mm-hmm.
split with him on the Chargers. Everything else is
Yeah.
pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we have SDS, who took the Jags, cause why not?
Mm-hmm.
Took the Giants. The fraudings barely escaped last time.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's going to be the same this time, but I see you. And
Mm-hmm.
then he took the Bucks because nobody wants Dallas to win. Plus, they've
Mm-hmm.
beaten them already once.
Mm-hmm.
That is very true, but the playoffs are completely different of a feel and a setting, and so I'm just hoping I want them to win. So
Yeah.
not nobody.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, we have John's picks, who went with the 49ers, saying that it's a weather game, which allows CMC to pound that rock.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that my team wins, but I'm not buying into the whole you can't beat a team three times narrative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That team, John. You can't beat that team.
Yeah.
There you go. He took the Chargers with me, saying that the Jags are great, but Herbert should be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went Bills, Vikings, and Bengals.
Okay.
And then he took the Bucks, so he agrees with you, and he says
Mm-hmm.
that he has a feeling that the defense is going to come up huge.
Mm-hmm.
That is highly possible. Lord knows they're going to need to with that run game, though.
Mm-hmm.
If Dallas remembers that it exists, anyway.
Yeah.
One can hope.
True.
So now Speaking of John, he's been doing some stat checking most of the season, and
Okay.
he came up with a list of all of the competitors of the verses and what
Mm-hmm.
team has been their best team during the regular season and what team was their worst.
Mm-hmm.
So like who did you predict right the most and who just completely was wrong? So
Mm-hmm.
just out of curiosity, who do you think was your best team?
Okay.
So what team do you think you knew the best this season?
I would say the Buffalo Bills.
You know what? Shockingly, no. That's the thing that John and I were really happy about because your
Mm-hmm.
best team this season was the
Mm-hmm.
Cardinals.
Wow.
Yeah, you went 15-2 on Cardinals games,
Okay.
which is absolutely insane to the both of us because they were a team who was supposed to be pretty good this year and just weren't. And
Mm-hmm.
somehow you managed to call 15 out of those games correct.
Mm-hmm.
So that was very impressive. Your
Wow.
worst team, if you want to take a guess,
I'm gonna guess Denver Broncos.
Green Bay.
Oh.
You went 7-10 on Green Bay picks,
Okay.
which is pretty impressive.
Thank you, Aaron Rodgers.
Yep, exactly. He was supposed to be good. Turns out he was kind of trash, and it kind of threw you off a little bit, which is completely understandable.
Yeah.
I think most of us are actually the worst with Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
SDS, his best team was the Chiefs. He went 15-2 on Kansas City,
Mm-hmm.
and his worst team were the Browns and Detroit.
No means no.
No means no.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a little interesting there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, buying into the hype of Detroit early cost him a lot. So that was
Yeah.
really kind of cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
Buff's best was the Vikings, the Falcons, and
Oh,
the Chiefs at 14-3.
let's go.
Skull, exactly. He knows his team.
Mm-hmm.
And the worst team for him was the Jags. He got 4 out of 17 correct on the Jags. So
Oh.
yeah, the Jags were really his bane this season,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
John's best was also the Chiefs, going 15-2,
Mm-hmm.
and his worst was Jacksonville and Green Bay at 7-10.
Mm-hmm.
My best is hilarious to me. I have
Okay.
the Eagles and the Chiefs
Mm-hmm.
and the Bears. The Bears was my best team of the season, going 14-3.
There you go.
And then my worst was Green Bay because, of course, frick Aaron Rodgers
Mm-hmm.
for not being as good as advertised. But
Yeah.
the season ended well for him, so I'm pleased.
Mm-hmm.
But we thought that was pretty interesting having the stats for what team we knew the best and what team we just couldn't get a feel for.
Sure.
Especially because like John and I coming into this season completely expected the Falcons and the Chargers to be our bane, and they just
Mm-hmm.
weren't. Green Bay was our bane.
Yeah.
But having the Bears be the team that I knew the best was absolutely hilarious to me.
Yeah.
You know, every spite. Also, I didn't pick the Bears to win one time the entire season. I didn't even know that I was
Mm-hmm.
doing that, but
Mm-hmm.
apparently spite reigned supreme.
Yay.
Yay, yay, spite. So that is going to go ahead and do it for the wildcard rounds. Let us know your picks in the comments below if you are watching and not playing along with the standings,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm really curious, like what you guys think is going to happen, because the entire playoff picture could be shaken up with one win.
True.
So I'm really curious what you guys think. Also, check out the links down below for my link to Twitter and my Discord server and other things.
And check out Joy's latest letter to the team she wants to motivate the most.
Oh yeah, my letter, my Seymour squad. Yeah, I last week I put a letter to you guys for watching and participating and how much fun it's been. So
Mm-hmm.
that was really fun to write up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly what this week's gonna be, but it'll probably be a Sayonara Green Bay letter, just because I'm
Mm-hmm.
still feeling kind of sassy. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's been really fun. The regular season went by like a freight train.
Exactly.
So I'm pleased with it.
Hmm.
Um, Anything else to wrap up for the season?
No, not that I know of. There, just keep watching it there and keep hitting the like and subscribe and turn on notification bell for all future videos
Yeah,
in
anybody
our
who's
first.
new, the Black Monday coaching carousel hot seat video did supremely well. So anyone
Yeah,
who is still
amazing.
here from that, I appreciate that. Thank you for watching that. Thank you for watching this and sticking
Hmm.
around. Because next year we're going to be doing even more stuff for the NFL. Another
Hmm.
predictions versus. Hopefully, I'll be having a special video coming up before the big game this year
Hmm.
with Jonas, but we'll see how that actually goes. And then, per the usual, our Black Monday things. So it's going to be really fun. I love having football as like a main piece of content on the channel to go along with everything else. So hopefully you guys enjoy it as well. If you do, let me know. And we will catch you guys next week for the divisional round. I almost said conference. We are not there
Hmm.
yet.
Not yet.
Catch you guys next
Thank
week
you.
for the divisional round of playoffs,
Yeah.
and we will catch you guys next time.
Thank you all. See you next week.